died down, so I am going to go ahead and get started on today's long-awaited, long-anticipated advanced host seminar, delivering personalized experience to earn effortless income with top hosts Crail and Joey out of Austin, Texas. So please feel free. I am sharing my screen. Follow along via the Zoom.
Okay, I'll clean them up.
Lauren, you're
Lauren, you're on
muted.
mute. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Did you guys catch my intro? I'll take it back one more time. I was just mentioning I am super excited to get started today on the highly anticipated Delivering Personal Experiences webinar with Crail and Joey out of Austin, Texas. So glad to have them here. Just a couple of items I want to cover with you guys before we get started. First, we have some housekeeping items, as always. This is a recorded session. Please mute your line if you are not speaking. Leverage the chat box feature, which my wonderful co-host Jonathan will be managing. Should you have any questions throughout this session, just drop them in the chat, and then Jonathan and the internal Swimply team will be able to answer in real time. Jonathan?
Hey guys, so as Lauren and then Crail and Joey, which I'm really looking forward to, go through their slides, feel free to write any questions in the chat box. Me and some of my other colleagues who are on the call also will jump in and answer those questions. It's a pretty big group today, so looking forward. It feels like it's summer again, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jonathan. And if you guys don't mind, please feel free to test out the chat experience by letting us know where you are calling in from. We love to know where our hosts are from. Next, there will be a Q&A at the end in case you would like to verbally ask any questions. And finally, we will leverage a breakout room feature via Zoom where you guys get to meet in small groups with other like-minded hosts if time permits. So we'll try to make sure we save some time at the end. Also, for anyone who happens to be here who is a brand new host, today is intended, it's welcome, everyone is welcomed, but it is intended for advanced and experienced hosts. But we do have an intro webinar for new hosts on February 8th. So please feel free to register for that to get a bit more of the up and new and experience from a new person's perspective. Alrighty. So agenda, Swimply Spaces. We'll talk about 2 new features today, 30-minute increments and CRM. Host etiquette, just a quick refresher. I'll list the hosts of the month for the month of December, and then we'll take it to Crail and Joey. So you guys may already be familiar, but we do Swimply have a new sister platform known as Swimply Spaces. So Swimply Spaces gives the option for hosts to offer and rent out other spaces outside of their pool. This is now formally live, and we are focusing primarily on sport courts. So if you're a host who, in addition to your pool, you happen to have a basketball court or a tennis court, which you think folks will benefit from, please feel free to sign up. In order to do so, you can go to the desktop view or the app, but from the desktop, just go to swimply.com, click from the drop-down menu on the top right corner, the list anything option. That will take you to our Swimply Spaces page. You will click list a space, and then you'll follow the workflow to set up your additional alternative space just as you did with your pool. So focusing on sport courts again, but if you have maybe a kitchen space or just a lot of options are available there. Check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. Now, new feature number 1, the 30-minute increments. You guys may have gotten the email to announce this earlier in the week, but the long anticipated ability for guests or swimmers to book in 30-minute increments. So what does that mean? Guests will continue to select the date as they always have. And then from there, instead of just picking times on the hour, they can book on the half hour as well. One thing I definitely want to call out is that the minimum booking time still remains 1 hour. So that means they can book 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and so on and so forth. Also, with this update, the buffer time in between your bookings has now gone from 1 hour down to 30 minutes. This is awesome because it allows us as hosts to host more bookings in a single day. Now, we are going to upgrade that a bit more in the coming days so that we as hosts can adjust that. We can decide if we want just a 30-minute buffer, a 1 hour buffer, or a 2 hour buffer. So again, currently the buffer is 30 minutes only. And should you need any special modifications before we make the adjustment in the technology, you can always reach out to hostcare@swimply.com, and our host care team can make that buffer adjustment for you on the back end. The next new feature is the CRM. What is a CRM? So that is the customer relationship management tool. What does that mean? If you look at the first screenshot from the app on the left side, when you open your pools page, you'll now see a designation for fans. Well, what are fans? When you click into fans, you'll see 3 different categories of fans. First, you have guest leads. These are people who have favorited your pool or just inquired about booking it. So that can be folks that either reached out to you via a message on the platform, or it can be folks that maybe started to book your pool but never followed through with the full process. Those folks are all included in guest leads. Then we have one-time guests. That's a little more self-explanatory, but these are any folks who have booked your pool just once and have not yet returned. Finally, you have repeat guests, which are people who've booked your pool twice or more. So now that we understand what that means, the CRM allows you to directly message your fans, groups at a time. You can just select to message one of these categories, all of them, or any variation of the 3. Once you decide who you'd like to message, you'd opt to make an announcement. Now, there are just a couple of rules before I move forward. The app will tell you that 3 primary things. 1, keep it chill. This is super exciting, but please only make up to 2 announcements per week. We don't want to bombard or overwhelm our swimmers. 2, keep it exciting. I'll go on to show you guys that you can actually create a promo code in these messages to your fans, but don't use too many promo codes because then, it's not as exciting to get that special discount. Finally, keep your message short and concise. Try to keep it to a maximum of 280 characters and just get to the wonderful point. So once you go on to the next page, you see in this example that this person has opted to message their repeat guests and their guest leads. Swimply kind of gives you this little, here's what you do here message, which says, announce something like a new pool heater or that you have brand new renovations. I'll give you guys some examples in a moment. Here on the bottom is where you're able to add that promo code, as I mentioned. So let's say you're ready to add a promo code. Once you click that button, you get the option to first create a promo code name. I'll point out here that the promo code name should be unique. And if it's not unique, the app will let you know right here. This promo code is intended for your specific pool. Now, you get to pick how much of a discount you'd like to offer your swimmers. The options range from 10% to 25% to a whopping 50%. Finally, you can select how long that promotion code is available for, either 24 hours or 72 hours. And then you click Create Promo. So now I see that that promo code we created is attached to the message. But let's create some good context or text message for the actual flow of the message. Here, this user put, "Hey there, we have just built a brand new basketball court. Here's a 25% off for when you want to get your game on after you swim. Promo code expires in 3 days, so hurry and book." Make sure you proofread it. Make sure you're sending it to the appropriate recipients. Promo code is attached with the expiration date. Click Message Fans. It's lovely. It lets me know it's sending to 344 people in this example. The app thinks for a moment, and then there is confirmation that the message is sent. This is going to be fantastic for the hot days where, we know we have still 4 or 5 more hours available in our pool where we'd love to have people fill in. Send one of these to ramp up interest, and I'm sure you will have fuller bookings on each day. Just as another couple of quick examples of when you'd use this, let's say there's good weather. "Hey swimmers, it's going to be 93 degrees in Austin this weekend. I'm offering a 10% off coupon for any returning swimmers who can use a dip in the Bayview Getaway to stay cool." A new amenity you want to highlight. What would be cooler than spending this weekend's heat wave relaxing by a pool with an ice cold slushie? Book the Bayview Getaway in the next 72 hours and get free use of our new slushie machine. Both pina colada and daiquiri flavors are available. Then you have free heating. This year, we are getting a head start on pool use. Book by April 26th, which may be, for me, that is a cooler time of year. And we will throw in the free heat, 85-degree pool water for you and your guests at the Bayview Getaway. Finally, maybe you want to do a free hot tub use. In honor of Valentine's Day this weekend, here's 10% off all bookings made in the next 24 hours and complimentary use of the hot tub. Talk about romantic. So again, concise, and who doesn't love a good deal like this? Just a very quick refresher on host etiquette 101 for our experienced hosts. Remember, great communication. Continue to respond to your swimmers promptly, because if you take too long, you run the risk of missing that booking. Squeaky clean. Always thoroughly wipe down between visits, furniture, floaties, dispose of any trash, and your bathroom's got to be stellar. No one likes a dirty bathroom. Arrivals and departures, whenever possible, try to warmly greet your swimmers and talk them through what's what. As I always mention, 10 minutes before the completion of your swimmer's visit, go out, express gratitude, ask if there's anything you could have done differently to make their experience even more optimal. Personal touch. That's exactly what Crail is going to get into now. Understand the nature of your swimmer's visit and see how you can really enhance that. Refer swimmers and hosts to the app. As you know, swimmers, for any swimmer you recruit, you get a $5 credit. And for any host you recruit, once they complete their first successful booking, you get $100 cash, $100. Definitely take advantage of that. Finally, be sure to stand out. You can update your listing language from time to time to celebrate different holidays and cultures and demographics. If you get new amenities, make sure you are indicating those on your listing. All right, one last item before I pass it to Crail is the host of the month for December. So by booking quantity, we have Rick and Diana out of Oregon, Stuart D out of Oregon, Brian Q out of Michigan, Kim F out of Oregon, and Amy W out of Washington State. That is incredible. Booking numbers range from 68 down to 36 in the month of December. You guys have proven that it's totally feasible to be successful even during the cool months. So thank you for sticking with us, and kudos to an excellent job. All right, so I tried to leave as much time as possible. I've got to tell you, I had the opportunity to work with Crail and Joey a bit in preparing for this session, and what a fantastic job they've done. Really highlights and showcases the top-notch hosts that they each are. And we thank you so much for being such incredible partners here on the Swimply app. With that, I will go ahead and pass it to Crail.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren, for that great introduction. We thank all of the Swimply people and the leadership that we've had in the past 2 years that we've been doing Swimply now, almost a full 2 years. And without you guys, a lot of the stuff that we've been able to do would not be possible, would not have happened for sure. So I'm Crail, by the way. I'm Joey. My husband, Joey. We're from Austin, Texas. And I do want to point out just really quickly that my Instagram handle for our listing is there. See it there, but it unfortunately was hacked last week. So I am currently in fighting bouts with Instagram, trying to get that back. I've been told that I will get it back by the end of this week. So y'all keep your fingers crossed for me, because there was a lot of hard work put into using Instagram last year. So we really enjoy our space. We've dubbed it the Palm Springs of Texas, mostly because that's the type of aesthetic that we like. It's very clean, it's very minimal, it's very modern. But then also when we would have our own friends and family come over, that would be the first thing that they said, that it reminded them of a resort in Palm Springs. And the number of guests that we have that come over that are surprised because they actually thought they were booking like at a personal boutique hotel space, and then they pull up into a neighborhood and they're like, where are we at?
Another reason why you go out there and you greet them, because they may not know exactly where to go if you don't have a picture of the front of the house, like your entry.
We typically like to greet them at the front door, or near the front, and show them where the path is around the side. We do have our directions inside the listing, but as we all know, a lot of the swimmers do not follow the directions that are given. So a little hand holding is done. Lauren, you can go to the next slide. So this is us here in Austin, living our best life.
A normal day.
That's just a normal day, yeah. And I promised there was water in that giant bottle of vodka, so just set that out there. We are in Austin, Texas, the best place in Texas to be. I'm sorry if there are other people here that are from other places in Texas, but I did go to school in Dallas. I lived in Houston for a while, and I've been in Austin now, so I've been here a long time.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, our city is just perfect for this, and we're very excited about, introducing this to other friends that we know that have pools, and get them on board as well and help them along with their listings too, because I think it's just going to be amazing as a city to have such a huge variety of pools to go choose from. Yeah. So we got started, actually it was neighbors of ours that told us about Swimply, and they've been over and their kids have been in the pool, and they said you guys would be a great candidate for this. And we went ahead and tried it 2 years ago for September and October. It was awesome. I think we had maybe 16 bookings, something like that. And we ended up making enough to purchase a pool heater. So now the pool is heated, and that was the very first thing that we did as a result of the income from it, which was amazing, because then we tried it out that winter to see, how long it takes to heat it, would people be more interested in that? And it's got a great response from everybody. It also allows us to extend the timeline as to when we can book. So that's been really, really helpful. Also, if weather changes, which it always does in Austin, we can change the temperature to make sure everybody's comfortable. So they can be comfortable in the pool as well as being in the hot tub. So that's been great.
Having said that, we are kind of officially open through March through the 1st of October, just mainly because it does still get really cold here in Texas at times. And even though that the pool water is warm, it still can be too chilly outside of the water for people to really enjoy themselves. So we took a break this past year. We were closed in November, December, January, this month, and then February, making some more additions. What's that? Oh, somebody. But right now, as of last year, we made just over $30,000. We had 95 bookings, and that was just over an average of about 30 weeks. So we were closed for about 3.5 weeks during that time for vacation and family and things like that. So out of that many weeks, that was a good amount of income coming in. And we try to book for our sale. We try to close every other weekend for ourselves, so we can still enjoy our pool. We can enjoy it with our friends and our family. But if somebody messages and says, "Hey, I see that such and such date is closed," and if that was just one of ours that we had closed off for ourselves and we had no plans, then we would try to accommodate the guest and make that person happy, because it's been a crappy 2 years for a lot of people, and being able to come over and have a swim is one of the highlights of their days. We're very, very proud in this because we've worked really hard. #1 pool in the Austin, Texas area, and that's out of about 79 pools. So we've been #1 since about summer of last year, I think. I didn't look to, Lauren can fact check me on that later if she wants, but we're very proud of it. We have the neighbors that introduced us to Swimply. We were a hot competition with each other, going back and forth. And there's couple other pools in the area, and but it's a fun competition, and it's a fun thing, and it's been great. We've had the 5-star reviews. That's what helps keep us in #1. So we do like to try to keep that. I do like to message and ask to ensure that they do give us a review if they would like. But the best review that we've ever received so far is that they'd come over and it was like they were thrown inside of a Katy Perry video. So we knew we had succeeded if we had been referenced to Katy Perry. So, and Lauren, you can go to the next slide. So this is a little before and after for you.
It's slightly embarrassing, but this is how designs evolve. You got to live in a space to really see how you can use it. And one of the great compliments we get is that, our guests will come in and they'll be like, "You've planned out every inch of your space to accommodate every need that somebody could have." And that's just been a great thing to hear, because we really designed it for us, for our use, for family and friends and neighbors coming over. But to have every one of our guests really appreciate it has been wonderful. We really like to hear that.
Lauren, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah. So from Swimply's income, we mentioned briefly that the first 2 months we were able to do the heater, which was great. We did some research on that and had it installed. That's been a wonderful thing to do. If you do not have a heater, I would definitely suggest looking at getting 3 quotes from 3 different companies to look at it, just to see what the numbers are as far as the heater and the install, for whether it's electric or gas, and also what permitting would be for doing that. The income that we received, we did get a lot new furniture, so we were able to expand what we were able to provide. And that was really kind of our idea too, is that, well, if there's something that we don't have and a guest is mentioning it, 2 or 3 times, we definitely want to focus on possibly offering that so that they have everything that they need. The other thing that we really like to do together is we really like to landscape together, gardening, doing plants, interior, exterior. And it adds a lot to the experience because it softens all the hardscapes. So if this is something that y'all are interested in, I would definitely look at it, because it brings in color, it brings in texture, and it definitely adds a lot to your space. Also, we've done a lot of different type of pool floaties, try to do special ones for different parties, have them available, like the bachelorettes. We'll have the giant ring floaties that'll be out there for them. stuff like that, just little things that, go over the top and are unexpected.
Many pool floaties have met their demise.
Yeah,
though,
they
so-
have. Yeah, and they will. I mean, that's something to be expected. We also did the LED lighting around the pool cabanas. It's hard to see in these photos. You can see it. We'll have new photos done in the spring, but they're built up inside the top of it, and they have different colors. So if somebody has an actual themed party, or they actually have like, special balloons or decorations, we can accommodate that with lighting as well, both on the cabanas and in the new pool light, because the pool light is LED, as well as jacuzzi light. That just adds a little something special, makes it a little Vegas-y, a little Miami, kind of fun.
Big disco party in the
Yeah.
backyard.
Of course, we added the fourth cabana from it. That was the one that's over the dining area. In that photo, actually, too, we did get a new dining table with benches, so it's much bigger and it's lower to the ground. New fencing, we replaced all the fencing around, so it added a lot more privacy, just a fresher, cleaner look. We also, the biggest thing we did was replastering the whole pool. That took maybe about 3 weeks to do. And the result is that the pool actually looks like the color and texture that it was supposed to be when we originally built it. It was just that the product wasn't available at the time. So it looks even better than what the photos are right now. And then the really kind of sweet sentimental thing that we're able to do is help others, where we put a new roof on our mom's house in Arkansas. So it was definitely needing it. Just the age of the house, it was built in 1920. And she really wanted to get one, and we priced it out and we were able to do it for her. And she's just over the moon now with this gorgeous roof that just makes the house look incredible.
It was my great grandmother's house. So it's been in our family for many, many years. And it's a beautiful little farmhouse on top of a hill. And so we were able to put a new roof on. We put new lighting inside. We painted the exterior. My mom's just super, super, super proud of it.
Yeah.
So
great stuff that you can do from your income from Swimply. I mean, there's so many possibilities, and there's so many different things that you can do. It's an amazing opportunity, and we love it. Yeah. We're very, very thankful.
You can go to the next slide, Lauren. Now comes to the nitty gritty. What we like to call the personal VIP experience, or we call it here the gay touch. So
a little bit of glitter always helps.
No glitter. No balloons with glitter, no balloons with confetti. We learned that the hard way. That was a terrible, terrible business decision. So the bottom of our pool was covered in pink and white and gold, just little glitter everywhere, the size of quarters, dimes. It was.
Yeah, do not buy the floats with the glitter in it. Just don't buy those.
Yeah. So some of the things that we like to do, or silly string. Yeah, I wouldn't want that either.
Silly string.
First thing that I like, I'm usually the one that responds. I like to respond to people immediately. And I do like now, I just noticed that the email that we receive when the booking has been completed shows the guest's first and last name upon first view. So that's great. So then I can respond to the guest by their first name, which I think is a great guest experience. I also look to try to see if they have tagged what type of swim that they're having, if it's social, if it's a party, if it's event, family, things like that. I try to work through that, have an idea of what they're coming over for. If it does show that it's a party, then I try to find out if there's a theme for it. There are little things that we can add. We've Oriental Trading Company, Party City, Five Below. There are a lot of places, Amazon, that we have leveraged and used to get just small things that seem like nothing, but it makes a giant difference to the guests when they come over. Because a lot of times if they come over for a birthday party in general, or even a bachelorette party, they don't necessarily bring over any supplies or any decorations, because they're bringing over their coolers or their towels and their totes, and their hands are full and all this stuff. So when they walk around the corner and we already have little balloon decorations up and a happy birthday banner or whatever, it just the smile on their face is just wonderful, because it's like, they weren't expecting it, and it just was above and beyond for them. I also like to look at the guest profile for their tips. They often put in there where they're from, what they like to do, what their hobbies might be. Not a lot of people do. I think a lot of people sign up for Swimply as one-time user, And then in their profile, they'll add what that one experience is for. So it's not like an actual bio of that swimmer. It's just kind of, love Austin, Texas, coming over for my son's 18th birthday party. And that's about it. We started, and let's preface all this by saying that when we first started, all we did was give them a handwritten thank you card. That was it. We did not do everything that we do right now. So I know that not everybody can do that, and not everybody wants to do that. And as Swimply hosts, it's not needed, it's not required. You can get as involved as you want, or you can just be very greet them and say goodbye and thank you, and that's it. So, but we're both event planners by nature. We love throwing parties. We love housing events at our house. I used to do monthly events in Austin, Texas. So that's just very near and dear to us. We like having people around us. We have event yard signage that we put out. Congratulations, happy anniversary, last fleeing before the ring. All of these signs that when people are pulling up, they've got these signs in the front yard waiting for them. We go out and greet the guests. We try to find the person who actually booked because I want to, thank them personally. And COVID's been kind of hard because I'm from the South and I'm a hugger. So I like to hug people when they come to my house. So, it's very wary and during all of that time. But this past year, 2021 was a little different as vaccinations started coming out. So we would always like to let the host or the guests know that we were vaccinated. And then they'd be like, oh, we're vaccinated too. And they'd be like, oh, can we give you a hug? And I'm like, yes, please give me a hug. So we give hugs every now and then. Cell phone charger. Yeah. I have to say, the biggest thing that we get the most, oh my God, I would have never thought about that, was having a cell phone charger outside available to guests. Found it on Amazon. It charges up to, I think it's 10 devices at once, and people just absolutely love it. They're out there on their phones for 3 or 4 hours at a time. They're posting, they're live streaming. It's just amazing. No, nobody's ran away with it yet. So we haven't had any bad experiences so far. We do have special gifts for our multi-repeat guests. One of our multi-repeat guests are Michelle. She's booked with us, almost 12 times last year, I think, just the summer alone. And she came over for her birthday, and in her profile, we became Instagram friends too. So on Instagram, I found out that she collects gnomes and she loves fall. So I had gone to Hobby Lobby and gotten some crafty stuff and gotten a little basket and put some flowers in it and got a little gnome that says home is where the heart is, and gifted it to her as being our top guest. And she cried, I cried, it was the whole thing, but it was just little things like that. Thank and asking them for a review as they leave. We don't like to make them feel that they need to leave a review, but it helps us grow. It helps us get ideas. We don't always think of everything, and then there's some ideas that we've gotten from reviews or people, guess when they come over, and so we're able to use that. If we find out if it's a birthday, we like to ask if we can have the person's birthday name. If it's a kid, ask what their age is, because we like to do balloon bouquets with their number of however old that they may be. And then we also like to provide a birthday cupcake to whomever the birthday person is, whether it's an adult or a kid. A lot of times, they do bring over cake or cupcakes or things like that. But again, it's just that one, oh my God, these people were so amazing. They thought of bringing a cupcake for so-and-so. If it's an anniversary, I like to provide them fresh flowers. We have sparkling waters, number balloons as well, depending on what anniversary it is. And for bachelorette and anniversaries, we have a storyboard. You'll see it in the picture here in just a minute. It's a little chalkboard that I got at Party City, and it's got a little marker, a little chalk pen with it. And you get to write your name, when you met, first kiss, first date, favorite experiences, whatever. And that has popped up on Instagram with our tag to it more times than I can count. So again, it was a little $10 chalkboard at Party City, and it's probably been posted more times than our actual Instagram account. So, but people love that.
Yeah.
Same with the bachelorette party. I like to try to find the bride's name to be, the flowers. Something I was telling Lauren last night was I go around and I buy up all the bags of ring pops that I can find. They're hard to find sometimes, but I buy them all. And I like to let all the ladies know at the bachelorette party, and there have been men at the bachelorette party, so we're all about free love. But I let them know that just because that one person was the one that was celebrating the ring today, when they come to our house, everybody leaves with a ring. So they all get to leave with a little ring pop on their finger, and again, it's a bag of like 30 for $6. So we all like to put a ring on it. So, all right, Laura, next page, please. I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah. So here we got a variety of some of the photos of those items that we do, where we get a little bit more personalized as we gather the information from them. We could go out and do these things and get something that's really special, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be very big, but it's really back to the wow factor. And I think that's really important for the repeat business, is that people come in and they know, one, they're going to have an experience, but they know if it's a special event, they know it's going to be pretty incredible, because we'll provide something that they wouldn't expect, but it's going to be there for them. So there's always a little surprise, and they really, really enjoy that a lot.
And just pointing out other small things. And again, nobody asks us to do this. It's just things that we do on our own. For Mother's Day, we had a group of mothers that came over, and I just ran to the grocery store and bought a dozen chocolate covered strawberries and some single stem carnations. And they just thought that was the most amazing thing in the world, that somebody that they had never met before had thought of them in a way like that. Yeah. And one of the mottos that we really like is, we tell people that they may come over feeling like strangers, but our hope is that they leave and I know that's super corny and super cheesy, but it's how we feel. And we want them to feel like they've come to a place that they've been before. And that helps bring our repeat customers back. And if you see at the very bottom right-hand corner there, that's the little our storyboard, the little blackboard there. So it gets used a lot. We have pride parties. Yes. The number balloons. And there's also, and someone asked a question earlier, I saw it in the chat. We do have a lot of these things stockpiled. A lot of the balloons, the number balloons will deflate because they are a little bigger, but we have tabletop balloons that you put a little straw in and you inflate it just with your normal air and then blow it up. And then we actually leave those blown up, and they're all in a closet, in one of our guest closets. So when we have birthday parties come over, we go in, we grab them, we tape them down to surfaces, and that's it. We have Instagram type frames that people can hold and take pictures of for birthday and anniversary and bachelorette parties. We had those made at my company, actually, and they were like $8 each to make. They're plastic. They're that corrugated plastic. So they're all weather, and those get Instagrammed and posted on social media all the time as well. I've put our little QR code on it. So if anybody were to actually, grab it with their phone while they were looking at their socials online or something, then they'd be like, ooh, I'm gonna scan that QR code, and it boom, takes us to our listing. Yeah. Next slide, Lauren. I think it's our last one. And this is something that has really exploded with us. It was very unexpected. We had it's a business, it's Austin360.com here in Austin, Texas, and they are a big event online tool. So they had found us on Swimply, and they wanted to hold a social influencer media event at our pool. So we did. And so we had all of these social influencers that were here, and all of them had more than 25,000 followers, and we had about 20 of them. And it's just, our Instagram was just blowing up all day long. It was ridiculous. But through this, we were able to form partnerships with local vendors and businesses and other influencers to collaborate with. The top left-hand corner there, you see our fabulous drag performer. This business is called Extragrams. So they are your telegrams, but they're in full drag form. They come over, they are not cheap. So people are paying good money, but in 2021, they came to our house more often than any other place in Austin, Texas. They came to our house 12 times last summer for people that had booked them at our house. So what I'm looking to do, I've sent out emails to different people, to a lot of these people that we've formed really good friendships with and we collaborate with, to see if they will make a coupon that we can give to our guests in their thank you card. So for Extragrams, say it'd be like a 25% off your first booking or performance with extra grams. Our Boozy Babes, our frozen drink people that we met last year who have great friendships with now, maybe 15% off the first time they order, through Boozy Babes for an event. It doesn't even have to be here at our place. It could be anywhere. But we want to, be able to give back to our local businesses as well, because of all the wonderful things that Swimply's allowed us to be able to do for ourselves. So that's about it for our little shindig there, Lauren. So I'll turn it back over to you.
As I expected, absolutely fantastic job, Crail and Joey. I think if nothing else, what always exudes so much from Crail and Joey is their warmth, their family-like nature, their inclusivity. And I love that. And I hope that for all of us as hosts and that can trickle down to our respective swimmers as well. So kudos, thank you, thank you. Just a couple of additional things. I think I received a couple of pre-submitted questions. I'll share that with you guys here before we maybe potentially do breakouts. I think we have time. Actually, before I do, Yonatan, was there anything in particular you wanted to call out from the chat? I think you covered just about all of it.
I think we're pretty much covered. Let's go through these questions, and hopefully we'll have some time for some open floor questions for us and for Crail and Joey. I know some questions came to my mind as you guys are going through, so hopefully we have some time for that.
Absolutely. Just to very quickly here, I would like to be able to customize my rates depending on several factors like length of rental, day of the week, holidays, etc. Will that be coming this season? Excellent question. I'll use this opportunity to remind you guys that you guys do have the weekday versus weekend. You can apply a weekday discount. This has been requested previously. I'm always interested in hearing a couple of use cases. If anyone or the person who asked this is here, let me know an example of when you might want to adjust by day of week. More specific.
That was my question.
Sure. Yes, Rob.
There are, you have the ability to adjust for the entire bulk of the week, but not a specific day of the week. And there are some days, we were busy all week long last year, but there might be some times when I might want to push Mondays or Tuesdays and not the rest of the week. We didn't offer discounts at all. 7 days a week, it was the same rate. So I might want to push Mondays or Tuesdays, but more specifically, I want to encourage people to rent 2 hours at a time or more without raising my minimum to 2 hours. So what I would like to do is the reverse of that. And what was my idea? To charge an hourly rate and give them a discount for 2 hour rentals or more. In other words, 75 an hour or 70 an hour or 65 an hour for 2 hours or more. So that's impossible to do on the platform the way it is right now.
Okay, and just so I'm understanding, almost like the more hours you book, potentially the more of a discount you receive.
Yeah, to a point. Yeah, to a point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, that's excellent. Let me take that away. I know you just were introduced to the CRM, which rolls out this week. At least that may solve for the example of the dead Tuesday that you have.
Yes.
Quickly want to ramp up some business, but let's see if this is something that we have in flight for a more formal build. But that's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. I think there was one more. Okay, so how should I be marketing my pool? I love this question. Just in case anyone is new here, a reminder that Swimply Company does a ton of marketing on your behalf, from billboards to paid ads to social media. But we definitely see the added success in self-marketing. So if you haven't already, just as Crail and Joey explained, definitely get your pool on social media. Particularly, we see success in Instagram. Create an Instagram just for your pool. Share it with your swimmers. Crail mentioned that his swimmers do, their own little social media publications from the backyard. They'll post that. They'll tag your pool. your pool can tag that, and you're just getting tons and tons of exposure and transparency naturally. It almost at that point feels like it's very little for you to do, since swimmers are kind of doing it for you. So definitely take advantage of that. Any other social media platforms, get the word out there. The more swimmers we have on the platform, the more bookings you will receive. So we've had focused on marketing webinars in the past. We'll look to add more to continue to educate you guys. All right, I know I zipped through that very quickly. Maybe first I'll pass it to the open host community. Is there anyone who has questions for Crail and Joey while we have them on the line? Does anyone want to unmute and ask them anything?
I would like to ask you guys something. And just before, I just learned just a few things in the chat. Two things specifically. I saw Terry ask about a 2-hour minimum. For right now, it's not in the roadmap to create a minimum booking amount more than an hour. What hosts do is, just put in the title or description. We've seen a lot of people do that pretty effectively of just, hey, there's a 2-hour minimum booking, if you're doing it for the winter and, you have that in the winter, and then you could take it away in the summer. So that, and then as for, I saw a lot of people asking about kind of holidays that, may end up on a weekday. So one really smart workaround that I saw is hosts will set up a premium amenity, which is, holiday price, and tell swimmers, hey, you're booking on a holiday, you actually have to select that premium amenity. It's an extra $20 because it is a holiday, more in-demand date. So those are kind of the two workarounds I've seen for now until, something can get built out. As for you guys, Crail, so, you spoke about your partnership with I forgot what it was called, the drag dancers. Yeah. So you said you had 12 times they came to your pool, which is crazy. So do you kind of, like, when you have swimmers that, let's say they're having a bachelorette, do you kind of suggest, hey, we work with this awesome company, do you want to do that? And then on the flip side, is part of the partnership, like, if someone reaches out to them and says, hey, we're also looking for a venue, they recommend your pool? Is that where the partnership comes in?
Yes, they actually have us listed on their social medias as their #1 event space to go to if you're looking to have a bachelorette or type of parties. When I get my Instagram back up, I will, absolutely have them listed on there as well. But as of last year, no. I mean, we just really didn't know that they were going to be coming over as often as they were. And a lot of it had to do with the social media postings. Not so much because when we have guests over, I'm always very cautious and wary about taking photos of them, having a great time, and then posting, because it's just weird. And you're that creepy person, trying to take pictures through the blinds or something like that. So I'm not going to be that person. But it's mostly through those, we've got a sign up that shows our Instagram account name, our wireless password, and the Bluetooth information. So as soon as they step in, we greet them, we let them know, and then boom, it just starts going like wildfire.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So do they make the booking? Like when they get it's on their Instagram and, I want to book them, and then they recommend you, they make the booking, or does the swimmer make the booking and then book them separately?
Separately, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we don't do a lot of marketing, really. I would say 70%, 75% of our business is through referral and or other social medias.
Cool.
One
Awesome.
thing also, James, that I want to point out, go back to, is how to market your pool. As a real estate broker, it was really important to me to have clear representation through photos of the property. And I think that's probably the best thing you could possibly do, is hire a professional photographer, especially one that has a drone that they can use, because they can get the angles and like the bird's eye view and all that. That's really going to attract the swimmers. If they could see the whole space, if they could see little vignettes, if they could see it at day and night, that's really been something that people have mentioned a lot. It's like they'll get here and they're like, it's even more beautiful in person.
When I said other social medias, I meant that our guest social medias, for them posting to their Instagrams, or the vendors that have coming over to post to their social media accounts, using our hashtag Instagram. So.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And someone raised their hand. I wasn't sure who it is. So whoever did, you can just unmute.
That's me. I'm Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Hey, I had a question just on I realize no one's a tax professional, but generally speaking, what are you able to write off? How does all of this work with your taxes? Does Swimply, if you guys hit a certain amount of money, are you guys sending the year-end forms with how much you're making? And then what are there parts of your pool that you can write off? Are there parts of
Sure.
the things that you purchase for having the parties? Is it just keeping receipts, giving them to your accountant? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'm hearing two parts of the question, so I could definitely speak on the first part. So for 2021, and this law is changing in 2022. So I'm specifically saying 2021, in order for us to be required to send you as a host a 1099K is if you reach 2 milestones, which is $20,000 in revenue and 200 bookings, 200 separate transactions. If you do hit those numbers, we will send you to 99K. If not, you should speak to your accountant and work that out yourself. As for the second part of kind of what can be written off and stuff, I have heard some chatter in the Facebook group of creating an LLC and writing stuff up. I don't know, Crail and Joe, if you guys do that or if anyone else, but that I'll leave up to the other hosts. But as for legally, what we send you is for 2021 if you cross those two thresholds.
Yeah, we found out from our CPA, and we asked him specifically just because this is the first year we've done so many more bookings. And we just asked, is there anything to write off? He gave us ideas that it has to be dependent on if it's a one use or if it's something that you depreciate. So like the water you would use, the electricity you would use, the party, all of that stuff, you could send that in and they'll figure out what they can use and apply it towards it. So another good thing would be if you don't have a CPA that you use for your house, your auto, everything like that, have somebody like that look into this to see what you can plan for. And then that way, what to record and what to save.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great questions. Any other questions that folks want to chime in? Honestly, I feel like we're a little short on time to do breakout rooms, but I think we all can benefit from hearing these questions and answers together. Anything else, guys?
I have a
I've got
question.
a question. Oh,
Yeah, I saw Travis unmute first. Go ahead, Travis.
all right. Yeah, does anyone post pictures of the backyard and pool with the floaties out and decorations? And also, what about pictures of other guests having fun?
Yeah, so I could speak to, as for the first one of the other guests, so that the optics of the site and everything stay clean and uniform, just to all be the same. We don't allow pictures with people in it. It's more just kind of to show the space and people imagine themselves in that space. So yeah, put out those floaties, put out those decorations so that guests can be like, wow, I can see myself in that space. That's what I would tell you.
I would suggest though, as
perfect.
well, as far as with decorations and stuff, not to put it, I wouldn't put it on our listing, because then that may set this precedence that, oh, hey, look, there's decorations out. We can have a birthday party there, and they're going to provide that for us. So we don't put that as public knowledge, really.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. That's all I had.
Sure. Angela. Hey, Angela.
Hi. So I was wondering if we would have an opportunity to upload more than 10 photos, or 10 photos still the max?
10 photos is the max, I believe, and someone should correct me if I'm wrong, but so maybe don't quote me on this, but if you do message hostcare@somebody.com and send them some extra photos, I believe they can add it from the back end if you want more.
Okay,
I think so you can do that.
okay. Thank you.
I had a question about the messaging of promo codes. If we're doing the expires in 24 hours, is there a way to make it so it's for reservations within the next 24 hours and not future bookings, or is that already implemented into the software?
Interesting. I actually don't. I think it's usable for the next 24 hours. The booking can be anytime.
So
If later,
you could offer a 50% off, and they could book for 4th of July, for instance.
yes, I believe so. If
Okay.
Slater's on the call, I would defer to him if he's still here. But I think
Yeah, that you're correct, James, and how it works. So it's good for 24 hours, but it can be used to place a booking at any time in the future, essentially, or for any time in the future, rather.
so. Kind of what Annie's saying is that, which is a good point. If she, I want to fill up my month in April, or a week in April, but then they book the 4th of July with that 50% promo code.
Yeah.
It's great feedback. Maybe we may have to, Slater, we may have to think about that.
Yeah,
For
look
now, I
into
would
it.
say, add that in the message, or, say book for this week, and then, work it out with the guests, but that's great feedback.
I saw a question about how we deal with the noise, the volume of if we have entertainers in the back, things like that. We do not allow DJs, even I'm a DJ myself, but we don't allow DJs because that could just get way too out of hand. We do not allow people to bring their own external speakers. We provide the speakers that are controlled by our Bluetooth. They're welcome to sign on to their Spotify via the iPad we give them. So that way we can control the music, the volume from inside the house if it gets too loud. That's been a big help. And most times they don't even notice. They're having so much fun that they don't notice that I've changed their country music to Britney Spears because that's what I wanted to hear.
Hey, Jonathan or James, I got a question about Canada in the chat from Carlton. Will swimmers in Canada be charged in Canadian dollars this year or still American?
I believe, again, if Slater, or if Ha's still on the call, again, I'll defer to them, but I believe I did see that on the roadmap as a priority before the summer to switch it to Canadian dollars. So no promises again on that, but I believe that it is going to be switched before the summer to be charging them in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, the Canadian payment change is on the roadmap before peak season. So I think it'll probably still be a couple of months at least, but the plan is to have it out definitely before summer.
Awesome.
Thank you. Anything else, guys? We are at time, but if maybe there's one more question, we'd love to hear it.
I see Devin with the hand up.
Sure. Devin?
Hi, thanks, guys. Actually, I think this question is for Swimply host Lauren or James. Question was about the 1099. I think James was talking about it earlier. It sounded like are there going to be changes for 2022, and if so, what are those changes?
Yeah. So the change in the law, as Ha just wrote in the chat, we will be required from the IRS to send you a 1099-K once you cross the threshold of $600. That is the only threshold. There used to be two thresholds of 20,000 and 200 bookings. Now it's just $600.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Devin. Alrighty, guys. Honestly, I'm having such a good time. I'm gonna stay on for 10 more minutes if anyone happens to stay. But by all means, if folks would like to drop, we'll kind of just add some wrap-up remarks. And again, profusely thanking Joey and Crail. What an outstanding job, just out the back. So you guys have that natural knack for hosting, and it shows in your pool and it shows on this webinar. So definitely looking forward to hearing from you more in the upcoming season and watching your continued success. As always, my fellow Swimply colleagues, thank you guys for assisting with answering questions in the chat. I know Priam had mentioned if there were particularly any new hosts, but if there's just any questions around hosting, please feel free to reach out to either James at swimply.com, who's here supporting today, Priam at swimply.com, who's also here in the chat, or myself, Lauren at swimply.com. If you haven't already, please join our Facebook group. The Facebook is intended for existing hosts, and that's where we have wonderful folks like Joey and Crail or Jim B or Mr. Sample here with us, top hosts who are having conversations about how to be more successful. Also, oftentimes mentioning enhancements that they'd like to see within the app or the website itself, which is awesome. Anything I missed, James? Anything else you'd like to add before the first wave of people exit?
Jonathan, while we're here, if people are asking who the host success manager is, do you want to just speak to that and just introduce Jared and Eva while you're on the call?
Sure.
And tell them who they need to reach out to.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. You guys can reach out to Jared at swimply.com or Ava at swimply.com. They will both be more than happy to help you. And we will be building out that team as the summer starts to come around and designating specific host success managers for your market. So you will get to know your manager. You'll go to a meetup, hopefully, and meet them in person, and they will guide you to become the next Crail and Joey. So looking forward. And yeah, so Lauren, I just want to say thank you, Crail and Joey, for an awesome presentation. Thank you, Lauren. Everyone should please join the Facebook group, because that's where I would say where we almost can have something like this on a daily basis, where, you know, Crail and Joey can share and other hosts can share their tips and stuff. So please join the Facebook group.
Thank you. Awesome. With that, did that spark any additional questions from anyone in our last 7 minutes, 6 minutes?
Quick one, real quick, if you don't mind. When the worst happens and you find that you are selling your house and no longer having a Swimply, is there a way that I can hand off my awesome background of Swimply to my next buyer, or at least basically because I have like 77 5-star reviews, I would love to be able to use it as a selling point and encourage them to continue. Not that they're under any obligation, but I'm just wondering if that's a possibility.
Hey, can I take that one?
Yes, huh?
Thanks. I'll take that one. So we, we're starting to see this sort of use case more and more, and we need to define some policy around it. I know in checking with some of our Airbnb advisors, Airbnb's policy is that the reviews stay with the host, not the property, because it is really about the service, right? The hospitality, how you message with guests, so a lot of the reviews kind of reflect more that than necessarily the swimming experience itself. So we don't have currently the right policy in place. We will have it in place before the summer. But I did want to share kind of like what Airbnb's policy is, and that will also guide some of our thinking as we finalize our policy.
Gotcha, thanks.
You're welcome. Good question.
It's very kind of you to even suggest. That's awesome. But thank you, Ha, for your response there. Anything else, guys? Okay. So I'll just make one last point. Again, if you are a brand new host, in addition to reaching out to some of the contacts I mentioned, please remember there is a new intro to hosting on Swimply on February 8th. Sign up via the Luma link. That will talk more about the mechanics of creating your listing and how it actually all works, how you get paid and how you are successful. With that, if there are no final thoughts. All right, guys, fellow hosts, a pleasure chatting with you. Everyone have a wonderful night. Catch you in the Facebook. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
good-
you.
Thanks, Lauren.